right, I am here with Neil and Bruce from Naughty Dog. First of all, congratulations, guys. The Last of Us is in the can. It's done.
Done.
Finished.
Right. Coming to your home soon.
I know, about a month away, and I got to play through 2 levels tonight. So game is done. I got to play 2 levels, Lincoln and Pittsburgh. I got to see a little bit more of Bill, that character. The stuff that we're seeing today, where is that set in the story? Because I know you guys don't want to spoil a lot, right?
Don't want to spoil a lot, but it's about a third of the way into the story, somewhere about the first third. Joel and Ellie are kind of in an early phase of the relationship. They're venturing into this small town, America, and they're seeing what they can do to get a car to get to their next destination.
Now, we haven't seen a lot of the sort of, start of the game, things like that. Are Joel and Ellie, are they kind of together from the start of this game?
You start in the quarantine zone playing as Joel, and you haven't met Ellie yet. You meet her pretty early in the game, and you get this mission where you're smuggling her out of the city and trying to deliver her to this group called the Fireflies.
Now, in playing, especially the Link demo, I mean, what I love about it is there's this sense of kind of perpetual motion as you're playing through it. Even when you meet up with Bill, I mean, it's just really cool how sort of, you did this in Uncharted 2, but sort of you have dialogue going and this sense of kind of motion through the game. And what I love about it is, I mean, at some point you do just have to run, right? I mean, you can't take down every guy, or at least I couldn't.
Yeah, that's what we want to do, is try to make it feel like you're a survivor there, and it's not about like cleaning out areas and like, okay, we're done, now we're going to talk. It's like everything happens a little more organically, surprises happen, and as you saw through the playthrough. And we want to make sure that you feel that intensity of like, oh my God, this moment, I just have to survive. Let's just get out of here.
Right.
Your allies are in there running and trying to open doors. They're stuck. They need your assistance. Infector are coming after you. So everything feels very like natural in its flow.
Now, I also noticed, one of the things I was wondering about last time I played it was how you were going to deal with sort of AI protecting the other characters. Now I notice, like, Ellie, when she's being attacked, there's sort of a little kind of health bar, and it's like you have a set amount of time to sort of save them, or else, I guess, it didn't happen to me, but I guess if they die, you die, obviously, right?
Yeah, stakes are high in this world. It's a brutal environment, and lives are at stake, and that's what we really want to do, is make you as the player feel the same way Joel and Ellie are feeling.
Right.
So, if you leave Ellie stranded there, something could happen to her. But likewise, she's capable, and you're building up that relationship both in gameplay and story.
Right.
You get grappled by somebody, and she's going to come and stab that guy in the shoulder blade and give you a little moment, a little reprieve. You're stuck reloading your gun, and she's going to throw a brick to help you out. So she buys that time for you to survive, that last little second.
And you've also got some other folks along for the ride. I mean, Bill, we got to meet this time. We had Tess last time. So there are going to be other characters that you meet along the way that sort of join your, I guess, mini squad, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, each section kind of has its own cast of characters, and each reflecting a different aspect of Joel or Ellie's relationship. And here you kind of get to see Bill, who's a loner. He's this guy that helps Joel and Tess smuggle stuff in and out of the quarantine zone. So yeah, there's a big cast of characters, some of which we haven't shown yet.
And he's got these really cool sort of explosive traps, I guess. So are you going to get to set those as well in this game?
Of course. Bill's going to give you all sorts of cool stuff, because he's got to help you and you're going to help him. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Well, and another thing I noticed is, you guys, Naughty Dog is known for making, beautiful cinematic games, but they are, relatively linear. And it feels like this is not an open world game, but I mean, it seems there's a lot more exploration, a lot more strategy to sort of how you have to attack this sort of, mini map, for lack of a better term. And that sort of, I guess, continues throughout the game with sort of these little pockets of activity that you have to figure out how to solve.
Yeah, in combat, we really want you to assess, what do I have in my inventory? How much weapons have I been able to accrue? How far have I upgraded my weapons? And that really kind of opens your options. You can go in guns blazing, you could stealth, you could sneak by the guys altogether. But likewise, in areas outside of combat, we really wanted to create these options. So as you're going and scavenging and exploring, you find these little moments between Joel and Ellie, these little conversations.
Right.
So for example, there's a part where Joel and Ellie get in a fight. And there's the 3 of you, it's like Joel, Ellie, and Bill, and you're like all progressing together. And if you go off on the beaten path...
Fist fight?
Not fist fight,
Right.
it's a verbal
not
fight.
Not a fair match.
A verbal fight. But if you go off to the side, then Ellie will come up to you like, hey Joel, you have a minute? And you could choose to engage with her and talk to her, or walk away, and Joel will be like, no, right now, let's get back to it.
Just stay focused, all right?
We spend a lot of time building our AI systems. I mean, we probably have one of the most robust AI systems. We basically scrapped everything and wrote it for this game and for the world we're creating. We want the AI to feel very alive and very, well, the I isn't for intelligent. And
Right.
We've gone to extreme lengths. We have a bunch of systems, from your basic move sets, from crouch to sprint, from your AI is going to respond to that. They're going to hear that, and they're going to respond appropriately. And then they respond to gunshots. So if you shoot a gun versus if you have a melee implement, they're going to strategize differently based on what you expose. And of course then you have humans and infected. Your infected are just like a relentless terror that's going to come at you. They don't have a sense of consciousness or empathy for you, so you have to do whatever you have to do to get through those scenarios. Where humans, on the other hand, possibly distract them. You can hear them trying to coordinate. You can hear them searching, finding dead bodies, trying to scavenge the area for like where did these guys go. Meanwhile, you're skirting around the outsides, just keeping distractions going, and then you can get through without even attacking them sometimes.
And there's some great action moments, which Naughty Dog is known for. I mean, the one obviously that I played today, where Joel's kind of hanging upside down and fighting off the zombies as Ellie's sort of trying to get you free. There are obviously sort of these set piece action moments as well throughout the story.
Yeah, Naughty Dog fashion, we have these set piece, but what we wanted to do with The Last of Us is make them much more intimate. So they're small. It's not like big explosive buildings. Right. It's Joel hanging upside down, or it's other stuff that I can't talk about because it's spoilers. Right. But it's those intimate moments that help build that relationship between Joel and Ellie.
Right. Because I think some people wonder, from a gameplay perspective, how you guys are going to change it up. Obviously you're going to get new weapons, there are going to be new enemies, but there are going to be those sort of set-piece moments. Are there other kind of types of gameplay that you haven't talked about? Like I know at the VGA trailer was strongly hinted that there's some cool horseback stuff. I haven't got to play that. Is things like that in the game?
In true Naughty Dog fashion, it's all about pacing, and we want to switch it up. So from accruing new weapons to scavenging the area and finding conversation pieces like Neil was talking about, from getting into new experiences, right? You're going to run into new factions, you're going to run into new enemy types and new allies as well. And each time you get into these new chapters, essentially, you're going to experience a new type of gameplay or expand on the things that you've already learned as you started the game.
Do the infected go after the human or the horse first?
You'll have to play.
You're going to have infected horses?
No, and the infection only affects people. So.
You never know in the world of Naughty Dog. All right, but there's things like, obviously there was the horseback stuff, so there's things like that we're going to sort of experience as we play through, because obviously the environments look very cool, but it feels like there's a lot more to the gameplay that you guys are hiding.
Yeah, like Bruce was saying, every level we're switching something up, introducing a new mechanic or a new set piece, so we won't play the same thing twice.
Now, I saw a tweet today from Nate Wells talking about how incredible the multiplayer is in The Last of Us. I think a lot of people are like, wait, it has multiplayer? They've sort of talked about it's there, but you haven't said anything about it. I didn't see a multiplayer option in the preview today. What can you tell us about multiplayer? It's in the game?
It's in the game. It's done.
Okay.
It's got the same tone and feel of the single-player game, and that's all we're going to say about it right now.
Okay. Is it? I think some people are wondering, like, is it great? Is it ambitious? Because you guys haven't talked about it. I think when Nate tweeted about it today, people were like, "Wow, it's like he was really setting high expectations for it." So this is not like a little kind of skirmish mode. I mean, it's something pretty ambitious.
We'll just say it's really fun.
Okay.
Around the office, we play it, and it's extraordinarily engaging. Some amazing moments happen when you're playing it. You're just like, oh, okay, all right, it's fun.
Do I get to play as infected, or it's all human multiplayer?
No comment.
I don't know, just wondering. Hey, we have to wonder. Come on, guys. Are you going to tell us more about multiplayer before the game ships, or is just sort of you're going to experience it when you play it?
You're going to get something. Okay. We'll give you something before you actually get the disc in your hand. But yeah, you have to wait for it.
All right, cool.
We want you to experience single player. We want everybody to know about like what's happening with these characters in the world, the adventure that you're about to go on with throughout this game. It's clocking in to be one of the longest games that, if not the longest game, Naughty Dog's ever created. I think people are in for an emotional roller coaster. It's the most emotionally charged game I think that I've played in a long time.
You were telling me earlier that you're guaranteeing, and you're going to guarantee me on camera, that I'm going to cry playing this game right now.
Tear
up, right?
I guaranteed it. I said get your diapers and get your Kleenex, because that's what you're in for, all right? That's what you need.
I will say there's such a cool kind of vibe and tone as you play it, and I can already tell how long the game is going to be, because even when I was playing it, I mean, you get stuck, you don't know quite where to do, you have to explore around a little bit. I mean, this is not sort of a linear kind of run down the tunnel type of game.
We want you to explore. We want you to poke around the edges and see what you can find. That, like Neil was saying, you want to see these character moments. You want to see what happens with Joel and Ellie at different points in the story, and you only get that by poking around the environment, scavenging for things. From scavenging, like, she can help you with stuff, or she can actually fulfill something that you didn't know about her past, or maybe something about Joel that you didn't know. And so we want you to feel that sense of surviving. We want you to feel that sense of like trying to find what you need, and what you need you get attached to, because then you can craft different items. You can craft an offensive weapon such as a Molotov or a smoke bomb, or you can craft a defensive weapon such as, or something defensively such as a health kit.
Right.
You know, that you're going to need. You're going to need those things. So those interesting choices that come about based on how much you're exploring the environment, what you're finding.
Are there sort of side paths or side quests you can go on, or how much is optional in this game versus like on the path?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could find by going off the path, by, as Bruce was talking about, ramping up your weapons, finding these optional conversation. There's a lot of, like the first time we're putting in these notes, so you could find the backstories of the people who lived in each area, or you can find a lot of stuff from Bill that he left around, find out more about his backstory. So we're leaving a lot of story stuff for the player to find if they're going around exploring. But to go back to what you said earlier,
Yes.
so we do these focus tests at the end of a project where we bring people in, haven't played a game, and we mainly do this to tune difficulty. And for the first time ever, we had people cry at a focus test.
Wow.
And not only that,
What point in the game? At the end? Middle?
there's actually 3 points.
There are three crying
there's
sections of this
three
game.
sections.
Possibly more. but
Possibly more.
guaranteed 3.
And one of them is during gameplay, which for me, you know, I know the game inside out, played it multiple times. I get to that part, I can't help but get teary-eyed.
See, that's how Naughty Dog does it. It's not in the cutscene. You're going to tear up as you actually play.
That's what this medium brings, you know,
Okay.
right? The interactivity of it. That's storytelling and gameplay interwoven. That's what our goal is, right?
Setting a high bar for this. All right, well, that's amazing. And as you said, like a very, in-depth game experience, it sounds like, as you go through this. Yeah, it's crazy ambitious, but I'm really excited to see as it comes together. And you guys are obviously happy with how it turned out?
Extremely.
Yeah, we can't wait for people to play it.
All right, well, you don't have to wait long. Last of Us is coming out for PS3 June the
14th.
14th.
14th. Yep.
All right, check it out. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, Naughty Dog.